My smile is not fake. This smile is like glued to my face. It's all
Yeah,
the time.
I like it.
It's all the time.
I'm having a hard time to hold back mine too.
Right? We are live. Hey everyone, how you guys doing? We have 8 people looking at us right now, and we have the wonderful Jennifer Champion, our amazing and fantastic host, and we also have a new visitor here today, our guest, Mr. Jacob. Jacob, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you all doing?
Awesome, awesome. So what's going to happen is the chat's going to go crazy because we're in love with these conversations and how to get better. And so there's going to be questions. There'll be some praise reports and all that good stuff happening. Of course, I'll be shooting those organically into the back and forth between you and Jennifer, and all that good stuff. Quick announcement: tomorrow it's going to be a wonderful day. So tomorrow we highly recommend that for those of you who are looking to scale your business, Pace Morby along with Cody Barton, they will be having a live webinar. There'll be more information on that on where'space.com, but that is happening tomorrow at 5 p.m. As you can see in the chat, again, May 14th, tomorrow at 5 p.m., that's happening. There's a link in the chat where you can RSVP for that. We highly recommend that you do that. As well, there will be a Subto and a top tier TC meetup that's happening. That's actually happening on the 15th, excuse me, of this week. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Molly Tennett's going to be attending that, as well as Pace Morby as well. So we highly recommend you look into that. We'll have more information as well on that in the chat. But go over to where'space.com for more details. So with no further ado, let me step back. You guys enjoy.
Yeah, welcome everyone. We're going to chat with Jacob today about his first ever creative finance deal. So let's get started. How did this come to you?
So I was focusing, I think like everybody, on direct to seller initially for my first 6 months. I did not like cold calling at all. So I transitioned to direct to agent. And I had an agent who was willing enough to go ahead and present some a creative purchase to his buyer. And I originally jacked up the whole deal. It was mostly in the seller's favor. And I actually had some team members that one reached out to me, Josue Huerta. He put a post in the Facebook group, and he said, anybody who's selling their deal, go ahead and reach out to me. I did, and I presented him the deal thinking that I was going to have a buyer. And he was like, dude, I don't think this is a good deal at all. And I had just prayed that morning. I'm like, God, if this isn't a good deal, because my wife had been telling me, I said, let me find out. And he put me in touch with Christian Hernandez. And I just want to enforce how amazing our group here in the Subto community is, because I had never met either one of those gentlemen. And Christian jumped on the phone with me later on that day, and he was like, yeah, bro, I don't have a lot of time to tell you, but it's not a good deal. I would run away from it. And it just so happened that uh, I was reaching out to some private money lenders, and one of them had Chino Monte as a friend, and he reached out to Chino, and Chino talked to me as well, and he was like, dude, this is a crap deal, bro. I had set up with the owner that I would take over his mortgage, and then I would give him the difference of $1,500. And then I wasn't calculating in my private money lender. And so yeah, so it was a crazy deal. I don't know how you probably had a whole bunch of questions and I just vomited out the mouth, but the biggest
No,
takeaway
that's
with all of
totally
that,
fine. Yeah, so
yeah,
it
the
sounds like
biggest
you got,
takeaway is our community.
yeah, it's crazy how you can post a question in there or, go in there for feedback and people are just so open and willing and not, waiting on the other side to get any sort of handout, right? But it
Yeah,
really
yeah.
sounds like you got 3 no's and then did you obviously pivoted because you ended up continuing to work on this deal. So what did that look like? Did one of those 3 guys help you through how to structure it properly?
No, and I think had I asked they would have. So Chino was like, dude, do you want me to JV on this deal? And I not knowing where it could have gone, I just took it for being a bad deal. And I went back to the agent and I told him, hey, I structured this in a bad way. I blamed it on my private money lenders. And I said, they're telling me that this deal's no good. I told him that I couldn't do it. He went to his seller and then kind of massaged the deal in order to get the seller understanding why I couldn't have a 5-year balloon, why it needed to be longer. And then he was able to discount his fees that I was going to be paying him. And then, really structured it in a way to where now my overall payment to the seller, my private money lender, my whole PITI is only $1,500.
Mm. Amazing.
Yeah, where I was going to be, I was going to be paying just the seller the seller and his mortgage $1,500. So
crazy. So with restructuring it, you were still able to pay the agent. Were you also able to make money on the deal yourself? Did you end up wholesaling it or did you end up keeping it?
I kept it. And I heard in one of Pace's early videos, he said you can actually build in your own assignment even if you're going to keep it. And so that's what I did. I ended up borrowing $45,000 from a private money lender, paying myself about $8,000 for an assignment. And so I just kept that as somewhat of a war chest, being that I'm a new renter, or I guess landlord. I'm a new landlord. So I'm keeping that in my war coffers in case anything happens. Yeah.
So this was your first creative deal, but it was also your first buy and hold then?
I have another property that we purchased conventionally earlier last year. And so this is the first creative deal that I've had.
What would you say was the biggest lesson learned?
While structuring the deal. Mostly I would say probably listening to my wife, and she was trying to tell me ahead of time that it wasn't a good deal, that I wasn't taking into account my private money lender. And so, but I kept on telling her, babe, it's just going to be a way of concept, like proof of concept. So if we know that people will structure a deal, then we can work around the back end, which wasn't a good mindset to have. It was good in the sense that it got me motivated to do the deal itself. And the way that I ended up dispoing it was a lease option. And so how I structured it, it probably would have worked the same. Like I would still be cash flowing, but it was good for those people, our community, to come out and say, bro, this is a crap deal, especially now that I'm seeing where the market's going here in Albuquerque, because ours takes a while. We're a while behind the rest of the nation in prices dropping and stuff, but they're starting to finally drop here in Albuquerque. But yeah.
Amazing. And so is real estate your full-time gig, or are you doing this like off the side of your desk type of thing? Like, tell us more about yourself.
Yeah, so I am a fireman. I am getting ready to retire. I finished 20 years now at the end of the year. And my wife and I were talking about some of the stuff that we can do once I retire. And so I jumped in. I took a Rich Dad Poor Dad class before finding Pace. And I just saw what a go-giver Pace is and how he gives back to the community, and just the amount of time that he puts into the community itself. But so I started in Subto November of 2022. And then I didn't know a lot about real estate. So we ended up doing a conventional purchase. My wife and my in-laws all went in on a property, and they were like, we just have to jump into it. And I was trying to tell them, I'm like, if we hold off, we can get a really good deal. But that one ended up working out with what we're doing a little short term on that one. So
Nice.
my wife's running that, and then I'm focusing on trying to find some depreciating properties, well, properties for depreciation for my father-in-law, because he has his own business. And so yeah, it's been awesome. I love the game. It's really true when they say the system works if you work it, and it's a lot of work, but it does end up working.
Yeah. I think what's so cool about real estate too is it doesn't matter like the background you're coming from or what your goals are. There's a path for everyone, right? Like you did short-term rental and then you have a buy and hold. Some people like to do multifamily, some people just want to wholesale. It's just so open and there's so much to know and learn, which is why I think it sucks a lot of us in.
Yeah. Well, and some of us try to do it all, or like are a moth to the flame, and the new thing
Yeah.
comes. And I really dig that Pace has said, stick with something for 6 months. And then if you don't like it, or if it's not working, then you can go ahead and pivot. And so I'm trying to take a, a little page out of his book and trying to give back to some new real estate investors here in Albuquerque. And so they
Nice.
come to me and I present them with all of the information that I get from Pace. And we're just trying to build a little something over here.
Amazing. What is something that you would tell someone who is like on the fence of joining Subtour, doesn't know if it's the right fit for them?
Oh my gosh. I would say a lot of times the upfront money scares you, but the system actually works with you with payments and stuff like that. But it's well over, I guess, what you get in the community is well over the cost of the system itself. And having just being around other go-givers and seeing how they're giving back to the community, and seeing what Chino Monte is doing out there in Las Vegas. And um, Pace is just doing a lot to go meet up with people at their community groups, or going to different cities. I don't know. I end up feeling like I'm a salesman for Subto, but it really sells itself once you start seeing everything that you get and everything that comes along with it.
Yeah, I think one thing that people have a hard time wrapping their head around is they see like how much he gives for free on YouTube. And I don't think they think that there's anything more than that, but it's a completely different level, especially just like with everyone in that community who is in that paid membership. It's just a different level and a different type of community that you get to rely on, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's teaching us how to buy businesses and like
Yeah.
wholesale. There was a Zoom that I was listening to earlier, and he goes, "I want you guys to know that we're an all-encompassing group. It doesn't just have to be creative deals. We'll go ahead and show you how to." And now, like, I'll lean back on that: how to buy a business, how to do a fix and flip. And there's so many of that knowledge, I guess, so much of that knowledge in the group itself, that you can pick the
Mhm.
brains of anybody who's in there. And it's
Yeah.
crazy to see how we ebb and flow, because I know sometimes I won't be into the Facebook group all that often because we're doing deals. So it's crazy to see how much Pace gives with how busy he is. And yeah, to
Absolutely.
even come close to that, it would be awesome.
Yeah. What do you think is next for yourself and your wife?
So I am actually with my little bit of team that I have over here. We're starting to build a little bit more of a Subto presence over here. I know that we
Nice.
have a pretty big team in Albuquerque. We're trying to make sure that we all come together and start doing deals together. So I'm reaching out to some of the buyers in the community to try and see if I can't find them properties, and then just do more business here in Albuquerque, and make Pace and the Sub 2 group proud.
Amazing. Is there anything else about the deal that you think we might have missed and that you want to go over?
Yeah, actually, I don't think so I did do a lease option, which was awesome. So on top of the $8,000 that I created in an assignment, I received a $10,000 um a lease option fee. And so I have that in like the war chest as well. And then I ended up structuring with the new buyers, I guess that they will be, um, a deal where I'm making, or I rented the property out for $2,600 a month. So I added a room. It was a 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath, and I added a room to it. And that was where some of my upfront costs came from, why I had to borrow so much. Um,
Gotcha.
and then, yeah, I'm making probably like $900 off of that deal.
So you paid yourself 8K in an assignment fee. And then with a lease
Yes.
option, you got like a down payment of $10,000 from the new buyer. And then it's rented
Yeah.
out.
So
Go ahead.
yeah, so let me stop you there because I keep on using the down payment, and Pace is like, don't use down payment. And so he says that it is an assignment fee. And what I did is I told them for the $10,000, you guys will have the option to purchase the property. I purchased it for 320, and I tell them that I'm going to sell it to them for 335. And so I also built in another 15,000 if they end up going through with the purchase of the property.
And if they don't
And
go
then I
through the
make
purchase, you keep that assignment fee as well as the monthly revenue that you generate. And you basically both just they walk away and you keep the property if they decide not to go through.
correct.
Gotcha.
Correct. Yes.
Crazy. So many
Yeah.
different ways to
Yeah.
get paid on one deal.
I know. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's all stuff that I learned from watching some of the past Zooms that Pace
Yeah.
has put on, and the real estate game is truly amazing, and how much uh yeah, just how many different ways that you can make a deal work and get paid
Yeah.
on it.
Especially a deal that you were going to have to pay the seller originally, right? Like when you had
Yeah,
first wrote
yeah,
it. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It
Oh,
was
Curtis
going to
has
be crazy.
sorry, I was just going to say, Curtis has a question. How did you end up finding that lease option potential buyer?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I went on to Craigslist and I put that I had a property for rent. I received many calls for people trying to, and just doing that. I know Pace tells people go ahead and put a fake, not a fake, but you can create a post on Craigslist just to see how many buyers are in the area.
Right.
Um,
Like
and I
gauge
had a
interest.
whole bunch of people. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so when I put it on to Craigslist, I had a ton of people for the area. They're looking for 4 bedrooms. And so they reached out to me, and this potential buyer, they were telling me how they would love to own their own home and this, that, or the other. And she said, well, she wouldn't be able to own a home without somebody doing a real estate contract. And I was like, oh, lady, that's right up my alley. Let's talk about it.
I
And
got you what
so
you need.
it was really cool. Yeah, exactly. And it was an awesome feeling as well to be able to put, I know the connotation for real estate investors is sometimes they may be shisty or they're only out for the money, but it would feel good to be able to put somebody into a home
Yeah.
and give them the option to purchase it. And so what I was able to do, I amortized the payments over 50 years, where there's not going to be any bank that would do that. And
Yeah.
so now a portion of their rent actually pays down um, the mortgage if they end up choosing to buy it.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's such a blessing for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, this has been great. I am still amazed at how many different ways you paid yourself on one deal. That is pretty interesting from where I stand, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was great to meet you today. I'm sure Derek's going to pop on here in a second and do some closing announcements. Yeah. Oh, once he takes himself
I'm
off
muted.
mute.
Yes, I'm muted.
There we
Yes, sorry
go.
about that. Yes, Jacob, thank you so much for joining us today, man. Your deal sounds quite exciting. Had a few questions in the chat, and everyone is talking about how they're excited about you winning, and so am I, man. And again, thank you so much, Jennifer, for your wonderful questions and being a gracious host. It's always an absolute pleasure. And to those in the chat, you guys are fantastic. Thank you so much for showing us all the love and to just keeping it going. And I see Kimberly in the chat. Kimberly's one of our hosts. She's amazing. Oh my gosh, she's fantastic. One of my faves, her and Jennifer, my faves, right? So quick announcements. So again, tomorrow, Pace Morby, Cody Barton will be going over an amazing 10X mastermind about how to scale your business. Okay, that's happening at 5 p.m. For more information on that, it's in the chat. With a link to RSVP, as well as heading over to whereispace.com for all the information on that. Okay. And also, we're having on the 15th, I believe it is, we're having a wonderful Subto and top tier TC meetup with Molly Tennant, as well as Pace Murphy will be on hand. That'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a cool meetup. And we look forward to you guys joining that as well. Again, for more information on that, head on over to whereispace.com for all the information. All right. So, we normally ask this question after we're off when it stops, but I'm gonna ask you now, Jacob. I'm gonna just kind of ask you why everyone is in the chat. You didn't seem very nervous. You seem like it was just very effortless for you. How you feeling, Jacob?
Yeah, I'm
Very
feeling
smooth,
good,
brother.
man. I think a lot of calls and repetition going over with real estate agents and trying to hone the craft when you're put on the spot and they're asking you questions and you're trying to do some of that. I actually had a realtor and her client reach out, and so I had to do a three-way because I'm always presenting them with the opportunity of, let me talk to your seller, and if they have any questions, or you guys can go ahead and hit me with whatever questions that you have, and I'll answer them right then and there. Just
Wonderful.
trying to take a page out of Pace's book and keep going with it.
Yes, we're all taking pages out of his book, and I'm with the man all day, every day. Us behind the trenches, so we're all learning, man. So that is so beautiful, man, that you're doing that. So to those in the chat, again, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to jump off air. Jacob is a very busy man, as well as Jennifer. Again, thank you so much for your time, ladies and gentlemen, and see you guys next time.
Thank you.